Welcome to the RancHER Diaries, how I built a story that heals. This is Marcia, and a few weeks ago, I started a segment of my channel called the RancHER Diaries. And today, I thought what we would talk about is just kind of me helping you guys get to know a little bit more about each of the main characters. You've heard me talk about the dreamers. So today, I'm going to actually introduce you to each of the dreamers. Again, this is the RancHER Diaries, and please, you guys, I'd love it if you would subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and comment so that I get some feedback from you guys and know what you're interested in. So let's start with the main character of the books. Her name is Zaide Grace. And Zaide is just the quintessential professional Black woman who grew up on a ranch and as the book opens, she is living in New York. She's had years of a marketing career that's been thriving. However, in her personal life, some ups and downs. And in order to kind of offset whatever, I guess, emotional things that she's dealing with, she really focuses on her career. Along the way, she meets a couple of guys that become important in her life. One is a guy by the name of Lane. Lane becomes her primary love interest while she lives there. And during a breakup with him, she ends up getting with another guy by the name of Chris. I'm not going to tell you guys too much. No real spoiler alerts. I just want you to know more and more about the main characters so that hopefully you guys are interested in reaching out and grabbing a copy of the RancHER and Stilettos for yourselves. Zaide is, again, one of those sisters that knows what she wants. She's very driven. And I would say a very loyal friend. She's got her group of friends called the Dreamers. They grew up together and known each other since kindergarten. And through her time in Texas, they were her foundation. And once she moved to New York, she recognized that these women were going to always be in her life and are still the foundations of her life. Zaide is really a challenging kind of person in that while she loves really hard, I think that she also kind of builds some walls that, through life ends up tearing those walls down for her. When you guys start to get to know her, I think you will love the fact that she is just so loyal to her friends, but at the same time, she is also good to herself. She's got relationships that aren't perfect, obviously. None of our relationships are. But I would venture to say, and what I've heard from readers, is that the core group of friends that support her and she supports throughout the stories, they're envious of those friendships that, they're the kind of friendships that they would have liked to have had in their own lives. So that's the main character. That is Zaide Grace. The next character I'm going to talk about is another dreamer, and her name is Charmaine Sims Brady. Charmaine and Zaide are kind of in lockstep most of the time. They travel a lot together. They're both the more adventurous of the two in the group of dreamers. However, Charmaine is that friend that, has no filter. She's going to say what's on her mind. It may sound ratchet. It may sound profound. It doesn't really matter. She has only one way to tell you her truth, and that is, straight, no chaser. And sometimes I think the dynamics between her relationship with Zaide, it's not competitive, but it is that they both are super driven and they challenge each other. Let's just say it that way. I think they challenge each other. When it comes to men, Charmaine is pretty free, I would say. And one of the things I always tell people about the books is, I would say that they're rated G for grown. There's some sex in there. It's good stuff. I'm just going to say, I think you guys will love it. It's not the raunchiest that's out there for sure, but it's definitely grown folk material. Charmaine and Zaide are, cohorts in terms of, talking about their relationships and being candid with each other, though Zaide is a little bit more reserved. Let's put it that way. When Charmaine sees what's going on with any of her friends' relationships, she's the first one to call a spade a spade. So you're going to love her. She's a lot of fun. People love her. In fact, she is literally pretty much everybody's favorite character. I would think that while they root for Zaide, Charmaine is kind of the comic relief. She's the one that keeps you, interested in what's going to happen next because she's just wild and she's a lot of fun. The next dreamer is Peyton. And I'll just kind of go back and just add that with Charmaine, she is a professional. Her career is, she is a pharmacist and has risen up the ranks at a hospital to have a high level job. Peyton Wilson is the third dreamer. And her profession is she is one of the first African Americans to serve as a warden at a state prison in the state of Texas. She is obviously a different kind of person. She's very methodical. You can only imagine that someone who works in a prison is understands that the prisoners are institutionalized, but I think on some level, those people who work there have to become institutionalized in a different way. So Peyton is that voice of reason when maybe others would want to throw caution to the wind. She's kind of the one that reminds them of the repercussions of decisions. So a good person to have, steadfast, really, really, truly loyal. Again, she happens to be single as the story is unfolding as well. All the girls kind of go in and out of relationships. There are a couple of them that are married and stay married throughout the course of the series. But Peyton is one that's open to dating, but she is also, again, that steadfast friend that'll show up and roll up her sleeves and do all the dirty work, whatever needs to happen. She is, loyal and by Zaide's side all the time, and definitely supports all the other women in the group. The next dreamer is named Jayla Monroe. Jayla is beautiful. She's a Black woman married to a white man. She has no kids yet, but, open to it. Is a scientist, very, very smart, kind of the E.F. Hutton of the group of the dreamers. So she doesn't say a lot, but when she does say something, everybody's like, okay, did Jayla just speak? Okay, we need to, let's listen, let's hear what she's got to say. She is, again, another loyal, super supportive friend, but I think I like the arc of her story as one of the dreamers in their growth, simply because you get to see her really come out of her shell. She's a wife that, basically kind of goes along with the flow, doesn't rock any boats. And when the dreamers decide to step out on faith with a business venture, she starts to find her feminine self and really, really loves that. And to the detriment of her relationship to some extent, but she doesn't roll over on it. She decides, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. I want to grow. And I'm liking the person that I'm becoming. You guys are going to love Jayla. She's amazing. All right. Next is Dolores Scott. Dolores is really a free spirit. She is one of the dreamers that, kind of well, first of all, she's married and has two kids. And though she's a mom, she's like the fun mom. She's the one that, takes the kids to everything, makes sure they're involved in everything, but still loves her feminine side and loves to be able to be part of, what the group of girls are doing. She will encourage each of them. She also is a good listener. So she's kind of that girl that, through all of their lives, her mom was like a second mom to the dreamers. So when when Dolores' mom passes away, the dreamers almost feel as though they've lost that second mom that all of them were able to count on. The thing that you'll love about the dreamers is they are truly sisters. When something tragic happens, they're there for each other. When something absolutely joyous happens, they're there together. And they almost have their own language and a way of communicating that you almost feel like an outsider on some level if you're not one of them. Dolores is very much a key person in the group because, again, she's the one that kind of keeps it light. She's a free spirit, never really takes herself too seriously, and likes to have a good time. She's a lot of fun, and definitely one of those folks that you would have in your life that you would also say is super, super loyal. And finally, the last dreamer is Faith Bailey. Faith Bailey is a nurse by trade. She is an absolutely beautiful Black woman who is single and dedicated to her job as a nurse. She loves what she does. She is, that person that anytime there's something health related, she's like the healthcare advisor for the group. So there are times where it may be something personal and the girls are individually going through, they reach out to her. She's there for that support. But also when their families experience healthcare crisis or what have you, she is that person who is there with the knowledge and the support that, it serves as that foundation for what are the steps that you take to support your family through a crisis that's a healthcare crisis. Lots of fun. Also, somewhere between really refined and low-key ratchet, but you guys will love Faith. She's a lot of fun, super funny, and I just can't wait for you to meet all of the dreamers and give me some comments so that I know what you think about these women that I have created and have come to love so much. Again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next RancHER Diaries. Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.